Power, wealth, authority. Most men spend their lives chasing these shadows, but one man who possessed them all found them meaningless without wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the last of the 5 good emperors of Rome. But he wasn't born with a crown. He was forged through discipline. Before he led legions, he led himself. Today, we step back into the sun-drenched streets of ancient Rome to discover how a quiet boy became the most powerful philosopher in history. Born in 121 AD, Marcus was part of a prominent Roman family. However, his life was marked by early loss. His father died when he was only 3 years old. This void was filled by his grandfather, Verus, and his mother, Domitia Lucilla, who instilled in him a love for simplicity. While other Roman nobles lived in luxury, Marcus's mother taught him to avoid the path of excess. He was a serious child, often found buried in scrolls rather than playing in the bustling forums. It was during these formative years that the seeds of Stoicism were first planted. By the age of 12, Marcus took a step that shocked his peers. He adopted the dress of a philosopher, a simple, rough cloak, and began sleeping on the cold floor to practice self-discipline. He was tutored by the finest minds of his time, but it was mentors like Rusticus who truly shaped him. Rusticus introduced Marcus to the discourses of Epictetus. This changed everything. Marcus realized that the only true freedom is the freedom of the mind, and the only true kingdom is the one within. The Emperor Hadrian saw something in young Marcus that others didn't. He called the boy Verissimus, the most truthful. Hadrian knew that Rome needed a leader who didn't want power, but understood duty. In a grand plan of succession, Hadrian adopted Antoninus Pius, on the condition that Antoninus would then adopt Marcus. For 23 years, Marcus served as the loyal right hand to his adoptive father, learning the heavy burden of governance without ever rushing to take the throne. He was being prepared for a storm he did not yet know was coming. In 161 AD, Marcus Aurelius became the Emperor of Rome. This wasn't a time of peace. His reign was immediately tested by the Parthian War, the devastating Antonine Plague, and the brutal Germanic invasions. It was in these dark moments, by the flickering light of a candle in his military tent, that he wrote his most private thoughts. These notes were never meant for us. They were a man's conversation with himself on how to remain good in a world that often isn't. This collection is what we now call the Meditations. Marcus believed that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He didn't complain about the plague or the wars. He looked at them as duties to be fulfilled. He taught us that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can always control our character. He governed Rome with justice, even when his own heart was heavy with the loss of several of his children and the betrayal of his closest generals. Marcus Aurelius proved that you can be at the top of the world and still keep your feet on the ground. He reminds us that life is short, and the only thing that matters is the person you choose to be today. But the crown was not a gift of peace. It was a call to battle. Marcus's greatest test was yet to come. Join us in the next chapter as we witness how the philosopher king faced the storms that nearly destroyed Rome. This is the Italian Stoic. Don't forget to subscribe to continue the journey.